Yeah, I suppose to give you this analogy, they're like a world-class sprinter that always finds a way to finish fast. It's how much of a gap they've got to make up. And right now, it's just a 2-point gap to Spurs and Arsenal. So let's move our attention onto the two teams from North London. Pretty much identical records. They've both played 8, they've both won 6, they've both drawn 2, and they've both got a goal difference of +10. Arsenal were over the course last year. Spurs, I think it's disrespectful to call them a flash in the pan, because what we've seen so far, they've been able to find a way. They found a way at Arsenal to get a 2-2 draw. So, again, here's a 2-part question for you. Arsenal, are they, again, the biggest title contenders for Manchester City? And can they go and win the title? And secondly, Spurs, can we see them hanging around and competing for the title once we get to 8 games left, not 8 games gone?
Well, Arsenal, I think I explained. I think Arsenal and Liverpool are, to me, the two teams that are going to push Manchester City. And if Manchester City slips up, I think one of those teams will take advantage.
So not Spurs. Not Spurs, then?
No, because, look, I love Ange. I love what he's doing. Who they beat so far?
But they're there. They're top of the league. You can't just write them off.
No, but I can wait to see, because they're looking at a pretty good run right now. Because up until now, other than Liverpool, and by the way, I think if it wasn't for the sending off, Liverpool were going to win that game. I almost think that with 10 men, Liverpool doesn't lose.
Well, it was the offside goal, wasn't it? That was the story from that one.
Well, and Liverpool was looking to me like they were the better team. That's the only test they've had. Everything else,
but he was the same as Celtic. He finds a way to get results, Ange. And in a Premier League that's so tight, I mean, look at City going to Wolves
Mark,
and losing.
You can push back on me all you want, but I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to push back at you. They haven't played.
Fine.
I need to see them play against top teams week after week, and we haven't seen it. They got great points, but they haven't really played top teams in the Premier League just yet. It's a great start. And if I see that they can continue doing that, then I'll believe, because it's still a team that's probably 1 or 2 injuries away from being in trouble, because the squad isn't there. Ange just started this. Ange is where Mikel Arteta was a couple of years ago when he started. Of course, he was better because Arteta, a couple of seasons, they finished 8th, I think. So it took him a little bit longer. But you're asking Spurs to all of a sudden, out of nowhere, go and, and in those games, by the way, defensively, I give him a lot of credit, because this is basically brand new back 5, if you include the goalkeeper. Romero is the only one who's been playing well, but they're still conceding goals, not playing top competition just yet. And the depth isn't there. And it's a great story, but as those stories go, unless you're telling me that they're going to pretty much have to run the table. I mean, in order to unseat Manchester City, they can afford, in my opinion, 3-4 losses. If you've seen as much already, Mark, then fair play to you.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I remember 12 months ago sitting, whether it was with you, with Stevie, with Shaka, or with others, and they weren't having Arsenal as title contenders. And Arsenal did pretty well up until they probably overachieved. And one thing I find interesting about Spurs is, with Harry Kane gone, they've won 6 and drawn 2. The 2 draws were the 2-2 away games at Arsenal against Brentford as well. How different would it have been with kind of Harry Kane in there if they hadn't have sold him? What would Maddison be up to? Who would play on that left-hand side? Would it still be Son? So, yeah, it is what it is. And I think it's a great story. And I think it's refreshing that we have Spurs and Arsenal, 2 North London rivals, ahead of Manchester City right now. Liverpool looking good when they go forward. So, yeah, it's a decent top 4. But is it your top 4 at the end of the season? In which order have you got it right now?
Right now, I have still Manchester City first. I'm fighting with myself who's going to be second or third, either Arsenal or Liverpool. At this moment, after a big win like this and Liverpool dropping points, I think it would be wise for me to say that Arsenal finishes second, Liverpool third. That has not changed. That's from what I've said last week. Last week, I still had small belief, for Manchester United, and it's a big win. However,
you're changing every week now. Is that how this works? Are you doing what Shaka does? And just okay.
I think I've done it every week so far. So but just because you're pulling for Spurs, I'm going to give it to them at this moment because they're top of the league. So I'm going to give them a 4th spot right now, simply because I like the environment. See, to me, what Ench has done is created a happy environment for players. You can see that they're enjoying playing for each other. It's attacking football. Fans are happy right now. And to me, this is the basic, the foundation of any team that can be successful in any sport. So I'll give it to them. And I think I have to, because they're at the top of the league right now. So I'll give them the fourth spot ahead of, instead of Manchester United from last week.
Yeah, you're very generous. You're very generous. And the Spurs fans, they thank you for that. But they want more than fourth. They want to be title contenders. I'm just going to throw one in at you right here. Who finishes higher this season between two teams that have had issues so far, Chelsea or Manchester United?
I still think Manchester United. I mean, both not far away. I mean, everybody's been losing their mind, and I think for a while I've been saying, just hold on. As bad as it was, it's going to get better, and it has for Chelsea, because it has to. There's still enough talent, too much talent. Same with Chelsea for them not to be around that fourth spot somewhere in there. And if you look at the table and you look at the differences, how far away they are, they're not that far away. And we've just started the season. So, but I still think that Manchester United has a little bit more talent. And the reason I'm skeptical about Chelsea, because they're so young. And I think for Pochettino, he said it as much, I think, recently, finally, because I don't think Graham Potter ever admitted to the fact, or he was afraid to stand up to the hierarchy to say that they're young, they're too young. And look at the number of young players he has every week. Although he's going to get some players back, that creates a problem in itself, because all the players that he's getting back, they're pretty young as well. So inconsistency in lineups and all that, it would seem to me that Manchester United would, if I had to put a small bet on it at this stage.